The EKU football team gets its first win of the season and now this Saturday plays its first home game. And we'll begin with the National Player of the Week on the FCS level. Parker McKinney, the quarterback. Parker, yourself and the offense had a really good day. What worked well, in your opinion, in the win over Citadel 37-14?
I felt like offensively we just had a good scheme going into the game. I mean, the plays we were calling and they were working, and we were executing them to the best of our ability. My receivers, they were making great catches out there on the balls I was throwing them. So it's a huge shout out to them.
The one thing that I've noticed from you, just from the press box down to the field, seems like you're more comfortable in the pocket, a little more patient this year to stay in there and make something happen. Am I spot on that?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I feel like from last season to this season, I've matured a little, and I've felt more comfortable in the pocket than I did last year.
The catch by Keon Dixon, you underthrew that just a smidge, and man, he went up and high-pointed that ball. That was a highlight play, 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that was a huge catch by Keon. Yeah, I did underthrow it a little bit, but Keon went up and made a great play for me.
It's always a good day when you throw two passes at 50 yards or beyond. Bierman made one, and then you had one at the end of the ball game as well. So the long ball was working.
Yeah, I mean, the long ball was working great. And honestly, Keon and Jackson, two of the ones they caught was honestly just great catches by them. I can't say it was the greatest pass, but they just went up and made great plays for me.
In the backfield, Alonzo Booth is somebody that just keeps the defense honest as well. So do you feel like the balance is there that you want in the run-pass game?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, Lonzo does a great job running the football for us. He's a hard runner, breaks a lot of tackles, and I mean he definitely keeps the defense guessing whether we're running or passing. That's for sure.
In the game against the Citadel, they're a triple option team, and they can break a pass deep against the defense, which they only did once last Saturday. But the thing that I was impressed with, and I know you want points out of every drive, but you had a nearly 7-minute drive in the third quarter, a nearly 5-minute drive in the fourth quarter. One of those you had a missed field goal on, but yet just controlling the ball and keeping the defense off. There's something to be said for what the offense does for the defense.
Oh, yeah, and that was a huge point of emphasis for us because Citadel, I mean, they're a triple option team, so they usually control the possession most of the game. I mean, we had multiple instances where we pulled up games from last year where Citadel just controlled the whole game, time of possession. So that was a huge emphasis for us is whenever we got the ball, making our possessions count. And I felt like we did that to the best of our ability.
As a true freshman, you come out of a single-A school down around the Knoxville area. You're running scout team or your third-string quarterback, and then a couple of injuries, and you become the hero of the game at Austin Peay. Now, here we are 3 years later. You're still a redshirt sophomore, but yet you're the quarterback. How do you feel different personally stepping onto the field now compared to then?
I'm a lot more confident, I feel like. I know the system a lot more better now than obviously I did as a freshman playing scout team most of the time. I didn't get a chance to learn the offense as well as obviously I know it now. And then honestly, I mean, whenever it comes down to it, it's just whenever the ball is kicked, it just turns into a game, you know. You're just out there playing, just turns into a game.
I bet this team is super excited that you're playing football this year. In other words, you look at other schools that aren't, and you're playing fall football, and how excited are the guys that you're out there and you've already played 3 games?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely exciting because, I mean, we've had a long camp and there was a lot of uncertainty. I mean, no one really knew if we were going to get to have a season, but we kept pushing forward, and now we're where we want to be.
What was that locker room like after the Citadel win down in Charleston?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, we won that first win. It was just a great feeling in that locker room.
Now we go to probably what's going to be a shootout. Houston Baptist has a prolific quarterback. They put up a huge amount of points, and they've done it. I mean, they put 33 on the board against Texas Tech and lost 35-33. So it's going to be I mean, what have the coaches said early on here about how you approach this because you know that they can score offensively?
Yeah, I mean, we know that they can score offensively, and we hope our defense, I mean, can keep them off the board as much as possible. But we know offensively, our mindset is they're going to put up points, so we're going to have to put up more points than they put up. So our offensive mindset is we got to score a lot of touchdowns.
How's school going? Are you doing most of it virtual, or are you in classrooms? How's that going?
So most of it's virtually. I only have one class that's actually on campus that I have to go to in person.
All right. Appreciate it. Congratulations on being named the Stats Performer National Player of the Week. Quite an honor, and good luck to you and the team coming up this Saturday at Roy Kidd Stadium.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That is Parker McKinney, the quarterback of the Colonels, and it is the first game at home this season. It'll be against the Huskies of Houston Baptist. Kickoff at Roy Kidd Stadium at 3 o'clock. We will be on the air with a radio call at 100.7 FM. Streamed, you can find it on the TuneIn app as well as EKUsports.com. And the game will also be streamed on ESPN3. When we come back, we'll talk about the great defensive effort the Colonels had down at the Citadel and what lies ahead against Houston Baptist as Jake Johnson, the defensive coordinator, will join us next here on Inside EKU Sports.
At EKU, we believe education is the solution to challenging times. So we're keeping college within your reach. This year, we're freezing tuition, dining, and housing fees, increasing financial aid for incoming students, and you can apply for free. We call it the EKU Advantage. Earn your degree on campus, online, or both. It's your choice. To learn more, visit advantage.eku.edu.
Last week for the Colonel defense, they faced the triple option. This week it will be the spread. Let's go back with Jake Johnson, the defensive coordinator, to last week's 37-14 win over the Citadel. Team forced 3 turnovers, and I thought, Jake, up front, your defense really set the tone.
Yeah, the guys played really hard. The D-line, all those guys, they really bought into stopping. Obviously, when you're playing the triple, you got to stop the dive first. Those guys bought into it, did their job, played assignment football, and they got after it for 60 minutes. We're proud of them.
Then on the backside and in the linebackers and on back, you were able to get a couple of picks. Matt Jackson by College Football Primetime named the FCS National Defensive Player of the Week. He has 11 tackles, 3 for loss, and a quarterback sack.
Yeah, and he I think he had a fumble recovery on there too. So he played exceptional football. It was kind of in his wheelhouse. Felt the kids came in, studied, did all the little things to prepare for the week, and we're excited for his performance. He did a great job.
There's nothing better than a quick turnaround. You force 2 turnovers, which the offense scores on the next play. That's great team football right there.
That's great complimentary football right there. That's exactly it. We always talk about creating turnovers on the defense, but the most importantly is putting the offense in a position where they can score. Give them that short field. Give them something when the other defense walks out there. They feel like they're going to have to give up a touchdown pretty quickly, and our offense did a great job.
After 2 games against FBS opponents, this team could have kind of tucked its head, but you had an off week and you came back. And I can't imagine how important this win was for the program with the first-year head coach, new staff, these kids going through tough times and now getting a really good reward down in Charleston last Saturday.
Yeah, it was a great win for us. I think all wins they're hard to come by, as everybody knows. But we're excited about it. Especially going through all the stuff these guys have went through with the COVID and different things like that that's going on. And we're excited for those guys, and we're excited for the program, which way it's going.
You ought to get a pay raise or something for this one. I mean, you go from the triple option to you and your defensive staff and the players having to prepare for about as good of spread as we'll see in college football with Houston Baptist and their quarterback. He's nearing 10,000 yards passing in his career.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've seen the film. He could throw the ball pretty well. They do a great job. It's tempo, and they do a lot of job getting their speed and space and throwing the green grass for those guys. And they have some matchup issues, at their slot receiver, and they have some big time wideouts, out there, some bigger body guys and some experience out there on the edge. So, they're a rough matchup for anybody.
Bailey Zappi is their quarterback. He's pretty good at extending plays, right?
Absolutely. If you don't keep him compressed and keep him almost in rhythm, if you will, with your D line and forcing him in there, then he can make you pay. A lot of them looked at all as explosive last night. In like 4 games, they had 35 explosive plays, explosive passes, and I think 7 or 8 of those were on the scramble, and they were, chunk plays, 35, 40 yards. So we're have to do a good job.
There are 5 different players that have had receptions over 50 yards. That means you can't target one guy.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that. The quarterback's good now. The quarterback's good, and they have some weapons. That's for sure.
What does your defense have to do not to be frightened by the wide open? Is it like just play every play? What do you think the key is to just at least taming that to where the EKU offense can make sure it keeps pace and goes beyond what they're going to get on you, because they're going to score. They scored on every team. They're averaging in the mid-30s here.
Yeah, they've scored. They've played 3 FBS opponents and averaging in the mid-30s. They're probably going to score some points. The things that we need to do is the same thing you did last week. It sounds crazy, but you got to play assignment football. They use their tempo to an advantage, and we feel like we have a pretty good game plan to help our kids perform versus tempo, at least getting them prepped at practice all week. And that's the things that we have to do with our guys. They have to perform every play. The consistency in their performance is what's going to be, get us where we're in the ball game and get those guys where we keep them off the board.
Everybody excited to be back at home, finally playing a home game as well Saturday, right?
Be my first home game in a long time. I'm really excited about it.
All right. Well, glad to have you back. You played at EKU, and you've been here before. You're back, and I know you're excited to be wearing that maroon again, Jake.
Absolutely. Good to be back.
Let's sing Cabin on the Hill Saturday. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Jake Johnson, the defensive coordinator of the Colonels, as the Huskies of Houston Baptist are this week's opponent. Kickoff at 3 o'clock. And when we come back, we'll check in with Sam Williams, the head coach of the women's basketball team, here on Inside EKU Sports. And we welcome you back to the show. We're going to talk women's basketball now with the head coach in year 2, Samantha Williams. Sam, strange times. I've talked with every coach about this. How you holding up? And I bet you're getting excited that November 25th is closing in.
Well, we're doing well with women's basketball. We're very, very excited to actually be practicing again. We've been practicing just over 5 weeks, and we're just excited to be with each other again and practicing.
It's interesting in looking at your roster, you have a lot of seniors, but then you have a lot of freshmen as well. So there's kind of a chasm between the really young players and the veteran players.
Yes.
In chasm, I mean age. Now, I'm sure they're together as a team.
They are. And, that's something that we really preach here in this program. And, no matter what your year is, we really preach chemistry. And I think our team have done a good job of getting to know each other. They actually, talk to each other every day. Given this situation, we can't really go out much. So they do hang around each other a lot. And I'm really, really excited about the prospects of this year's team.
You will start practicing the official practice schedule set by the NCAA on October 14th. And then 10 days later, we've got an exciting event coming up, the inaugural women's basketball Shoot-A-Thon. It's a fundraiser for your program. Tell me about that.
Well, it's something that we, came up with as an opportunity. Given our situation of, social distancing, it's an opportunity to donate to the program. What it is all our players and also various people in our administration, our athletic director, Matt Rohn, men's basketball coach, A.W. Hamilton, and myself, will be shooting free throws. We'll be shooting a total of 100 free throws. and you can donate per free throw made. So, for example, if we make 90 free throws and you pledge 45 cents a free throw, I believe that comes out to a $45 donation. And then that's also after every player shoots their free throws, they're going to shoot a half court shot. And you're able to donate whatever dollar amount if that person hits the half court shot. Let's say you want to pledge $50 if they make the half court shot, then obviously you would add to that donation of $50.
How were you as a free throw shooter in college?
I wasn't bad, about 80%.
That's
but
good.
I need to definitely get in the gym and work on my free throws.
You need to get one of the former greats at EKU, Lisa Gooden, down here. She was really good when she was in college, I remember, and Coach Hamilton's pretty good at it too.
Well, I'm counting on Coach A.W. He's been great with our program. And then, I'd love Lisa to come back and give me some pointers on my free throws.
You're still waiting for the conference to see exactly how the conference schedule is going to go. So we're still a little bit in flux with schedules, non-conference, a limited number. I mean, there's still a lot of things up in the air as far as scheduling, correct?
And that's one of the things that, as a coach and right now, or just a member in sports, patience and flexibility are key characteristics to have right now. So as you said, we're waiting to see what the conference is going to give us the final say on how many conference games we're going to play this season, and then go from there, because our schedule is still a little bit in flux. We don't know what we're going to have to keep or what we're going to have to cancel, waiting on what the OVC tells us.
What do you think the second-year team in your era at EKU will be? If you were going to characterize what kind of team it will be, what would you say?
That's going to be interesting. I think what they, especially the returners and in recruiting the newcomers, competitiveness. That's something that whether it's a drill, whether it's a sprint, and that's I talk about this with my staff. We actually have kids competing this year in sprints and who wins the sprint. We have kids that get upset if they don't get a shooting goal. So this year we've got kids that want to compete and, they hate to lose. And anytime you've got a team that's competitive, I've actually got kids that they're in the gym constantly. I've had to kick them out of the gym a little bit, not wanting to overdo it too much. But we've got a young and hungry group of young women this year. And I'm excited, very, very excited about them.
All right, it's great to see you, Coach. Even though it's remote, we'll see you at the Coliseum sooner or later. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
That's Sam Williams, the head coach of the women's basketball team. Here's the information if you want to donate and be a part of this Shoot-A-Thon. Just email them at ekuwbb@eku.edu. And as always, like and follow all of the social media pages to keep up with Citadel Athletics. That does it for another edition of Inside EKU Sports. And as always, go Big E.